millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Hey guys, recently there was a Twitter thing and all this. They raised a whole ton of money saying, oh, we're going to fix The Last Jedi. And Disney instead said, okay, we realize with this now we've been making mistakes and not doing the whole Star Wars franchise correctly. So here's an idea. After episode 9, how about
nothing? Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
it's as if by raising millions of dollars, Disney says, well, since, you put it that way, here, how you like that? We're not going to do any more Star Wars. And that's whatever. But, I was thinking, and sometimes it's a good thing. In this case, I think it is. I think I figured out a way to save both The Last Jedi and Episode 9. Because the common thought is that Princess Leia was going to be the kind of the mother trainer kind of person figure and that, and now she's gone and they would have to CGI, and they don't know if they want to do that, but it would have been great if they had not killed off Luke, right? But what do? They killed off Luke, right? Can you do anything now? What I'm proposing is, what if Luke faked his death? And I also saw things explaining another theory how Snoke may have also faked his death. But nobody had brought up anything about Luke. But the reason and I'll explain both theories and how this could work. But the reason Luke would have faked his death would be, for one, if Snoke faked his death, but also so that he could train the new good guys. They may not be called the Jedi Order anymore because they had already established that was going to be the end of the Jedi. Okay, whatever. Somehow I just don't feel right, or like it would ever be. But yeah. If Luke had faked his death, it would allow him to train also if Snoke had faked his death. Because really, how could Snoke have been killed so easy? Everybody thought Snoke would have been facing down with Luke, not like, it was, and I'm not like bashing the fight scenes or anything, really, and I should, but I'm not, I was not one of the people that was going to say, okay, do we want more bad Star Wars, or do we want good? Well, how do you help them to make good? And maybe what Disney could do is actually listen. But I play this game here a lot, which is Robocraft, and it's based on a developer who pretty much said, okay, we're just going to listen to the players of the game and try to do things the way they want it, and see what kind of direction that'll take our company on. And it's had mixed reviews too, so I don't know. Maybe it's always, some things are left best to the professionals, but here we get all the best directors like J.J. Abrams and this and that, or who we perceive to be the best directors and whatnot anyway, and either our hopes are too high, or our expectations are too high, or we think that things will be great. I say this because I think the fans do have a say in things, and obviously so, since Disney said, hey, we're just not going to make any more Star Wars. It is, or maybe they're just not going to do it for a while, but everybody was kind of expecting, oh, we're going to see a movie based on Lando Calrissian, maybe a Luke Skywalker movie, a little prequel thing. People were excited, man. But then Disney said, we're just going to drop all the projects. Just we're just going to drop them. We're going to do episode 9, but then we're just going to put everything on hold, I guess maybe their thought is that, hey, if you're going to come to us, we're not just going to make Star Wars movies, But if you come to us with the best, greatest idea in the whole wide world, that's the ever, or if a book is written that's like, oh my gosh, this has to be made into a movie, you know? But then it would say, okay, this is what would be canon. It's like, how many books or versions of the Lando Calrissian story or whatever that could become out, that could be made, and then who would be saying, okay, well, this is the best one, you know? Which one gets to become canon, you know? And how does that go, you know?
The middle point is under attack.
Who knows? You know, in the end, maybe you can't please any of the fans, you know? They become like Rick and Morty fans, you know, all fans, because of the way social media has become, you know? You know, people don't always acknowledge the changes in the way our social media has worked as much as changes in the way people choose to watch what movie, show, what game they're going to play, and all this and that. Wow, things just got real. But hey, I want to get back to the Star Wars subject, because that's a kind of a thing, you know. I just think, you know, if Luke had faked his death, you can bring him back in episode 9. It fixes everything. It explains a lot, because it was like, how could Luke have been, it just, what, he was stressed to death? How did he die? That's what's killing me. It's like, what? He got wore out. It took it all out of him. I mean, I went and listened to the interviews and stuff that they did after the movie that tried to explain that better. I'm just not buying it, you know? But on the other hand, look, if Luke was to live, you'd have somebody really awesome. We'd have some really cool new battles. It would do better. I mean, the canon would fit much better. I don't see a reason why Luke has to die anyway. I think their thought was a balance to the Force. You know, trying to stay true to the whole idea of how the Force works. You know, so that if Snoke died, you know, one of the big good guy had to die too. You can't have a big bad guy and a big good guy. It doesn't work. It does. It can't. And I think, you know, the whole idea back of, you know, people might argue this because we know that that's why I'm talking about it, right? But I'm saying, you know, back when Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one, and he was the one that was supposed to bring balance to the Force. Well, what if the balance was a balance of good and evil? What if the balance was too far balanced to the good side? And he did bring balance to the Force. And now it was balanced, it was kind of balanced out, but then he threw the balance forward to the dark side, you know. So, you know, the dark side had more balance or whatever. But so, you know, maybe there is never really truly a perfect balance. It's just whoever can have more control has the better balance. Something. You know? But the idea of electing references into planets rather than the whole I'm in charge, do what I say kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to portray, is that, hey, this government's better than this type of government, you know. This type of government is kind of just bosses you around. This one's the type that's run by the people but bosses you around. But the one that's run by the people, you know, seems to be the better one, you know. It's the better way to go. The Empire seems like the bad government. I don't think anybody can argue this. They can, and they will. Look, my only purpose of making this video, really, was to say, look, Luke doesn't have to die. He could have faked his death, you know. And it might have been necessary that he used some sort of force power that was that powerful that even Snoke believed he was dead. Because if Snoke faked his death, and the whole theory behind, let me explain that. Someone pointed out, maybe more than one person, you know, several people have pointed out, that Snoke in The Last Jedi is a totally different Snoke than he was in Episode 7. So it's like he was more menacing before, and then now he's more jovial. It's almost like he was a different, you know, so he could have been some sort of kind of like a clone, but not really, you know, of himself. And that was the Snoke that got killed, not the real Snoke, you know. Maybe like his Jedi, or not Jedi, like his Sith copy or something. They could come up with something like that too. So yeah, they could bring back Snoke, and they could bring back Luke, and have a real ultimate battle for Episode 9. Boom, saved. You saved the whole franchise. You even make The Last Jedi good again. Why? Because you realize it turns into the more like the Empire Strikes Back kind of movie everybody expected. Because then you find out Luke isn't really dead. Like in Empire Strikes Back, you found out Han Solo really wasn't gonna be dead. You know, Han Solo lived. I built this robot here called Han Solo Lives. If you're interested in this game, go to robocraftgame.com. It's a great game. Lots of people play it. It's not just for autistic people, and that's not an insult. There's a lot of people that play this game. A lot of people play this game. That more genius level. They're the kind of people who get Rick and Morty. No, I'm horrible, aren't I? I'm horrible. That was a horrible joke. That was a horrible joke. All right, Rick and Morty's. Oh, you Rick and Morty fans. I'm a Rick and Morty fan, so it's like, see, I'm about to die here. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Maybe. Maybe. Oh, this is. Look at the timer. Unreal. Moral of the story is you don't always get what you want. I am not going to play the Rolling Stones song. I know you thought I was going to, but I'm not going to do it. No. I got better things to do. This guy has better things to do. It doesn't have to be broken for this. This could be fixed again, people. All right. Don't have anything else to say, but you can look at my other videos. I have other videos, and I'd love it if you subscribe. It's so hard to get subscribers these days. It's so hard. So hard. I don't like to sound like I'm begging. It's cringy, but that's what I'm doing, ain't I? I'm going to stop now. I'm going to go. Bye. I'm going.